Star linebacker Haason Reddick. He's been around a few years. Was a good player for the Eagles. Nobody knew about him when he played in Arizona. But Haason Reddick has informed the Jets suck. No mas. He wants no part of that franchise. He would like to be traded. He's in a contract squabble. Reddick, who has been very productive, if you just look at the stat category on his Pro Football Reference page, 38 sacks the last 3 seasons at a partridge in a pear tree, led the NFL in sacks way back in 2022. But because of this, Reddick wants more money. The Jets, who traded for him from the Eagles, don't want to pay him any more money. He stayed out of the dreaded OTAs. I ain't playing unless I get mine, bro. Didn't show up to mandatory minicamp, not going there. Now training camp, and he wants to be traded for the second time in the last 5 months. He would like to be repackaged somewhere else, even though he is from New Jersey, and he's from that area, but he wants out. All right, so the question, as we discussed, the question on this one, who is to blame? Point the finger. Who's to blame for the Haason Reddick fiasco with the Jets? So I've got WGN, U-Haul, and McDonald's. And we will combine all of these things together, and we are going to make a wink and a nod is what we're going to make. So, let's start out with the big man in charge of the Jets front office, Joe Douglas. Now, Joe Douglas and the Jets have pie on their face right now. They issued a hastily written statement debunking that they're going to trade Haason Reddick to another team, but it was an open secret. Like, if I know about it, I'm just the measly overnight guy. If I am aware of this, you would think it's public knowledge that Reddick wasn't happy with his 401k situation in Philadelphia. He had a desire to get a new contract. It was ultimately something that led to his trade from the Birds earlier in the offseason. So it's not like the Jets were blindsided. Now we're hearing they offered him a below-market value contract. God forbid. He said no to that. They knew what they were getting. Right? It's like if you get a car and you go online and you look at the car and you say, well, most of these cars are jalopies. They've got problems with the engine or whatever. You can't be shocked when your car ends up having a problem. This is the analogy here. Reddick had 1 year remaining on his current deal. He's going to turn 30 shortly. Now, 30 is not old in life, but when you're an athlete, you're getting up there long in the tooth. And he's going to turn 30 shortly after the NFL regular season begins. So that means this is his last chance to jump on the money train. Right? Get that funny money. Because once you get past the age of 30 or 31, 32, that's it. And yet, for some reason, they traded for the guy, but they don't want to pay the guy, even after they traded for the guy. And it just reeks of Jets BO is what it reeks. If you don't want to pay him, that's fine. You say, well, he's almost 30, I don't want to pay him. But why would you trade for him when you knew that's what he wanted? The Jets organization bringing back the old Superstation WGN classic, The Bozo Show. The Bozo Show with Joe Douglas. What a circus. Bring in the parade of clowns. Bring in the parade of clowns. You got to make it happen. All right, now, page 2. Speaking of unhappy, the Patriots, just up the I-95 corridor, they're also upset. The Patriots getting calls about Matthew Judon, a possible trade for the disgruntled, the defensive star who's played for New England the last couple of years. How should the Patriots handle the teams contacting them saying, hey, we would like to get Matthew Judon? So what they should do is they should call Judon's agent up and say, listen, I know a guy at U-Haul. Okay, and I'm going to give you our corporate discount code so you can pack everything up there and get out of here. And don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. Just go away. Judon has been a productive player, though he got hurt last year, so not last year. But it's all about the timeline. It's all about the timeline. By the time the Patriots have a team that isn't garbage, by the time that happens, Matthew Judon will either be out of the NFL or in the twilight of his career. Either way, it doesn't match up. It doesn't. You hear the stories about like relationships ending because like one person wants to have kids and the other one doesn't, and so that ends it. Well, in this case, by the time the Patriots are actually trying to win games again, like they wouldn't even play Drake May in practice games because they know he sucks that much. They didn't want to play him that much. So they're not anywhere close. It's embarrassment. So by the time they're good, Judon will be too old. Right? And so this is the ideal time to put out a card table and have a garage sale. And everything is marked to sell down. New England does not even trust May, though. I keep going back to that point because they only played him a handful of snaps. You look around, Bo Nix played a huge chunk for the Broncos. Caleb Williams, you look at these J.J. McCarthy, who people thought wasn't going to play much at all. He played for the Vikings. It's just wild. Now, the last word here, as we put the bow on this, we move now to La La Land, where Jimmy Garoppolo has spoken. And Garoppolo saying at times it has been chaotic in his career. He played for the Patriots, the 49ers, and the Raiders. But he is with the Rams now, and he was praising what it's like to play for Sean McVay and the whole culture around the Rams while talking about how chaotic it was with his other teams. What do you read in to Jimmy Garoppolo's commentary about his body of work in the NFL? So Jimmy G was likely eating some chicken nuggets, and he was humming the old McDonald's catch slogan that I'm loving it. He's loving it. He's just loving it, and the life in the NFL is supposed to be controlled chaos. Am I wrong on that? I don't think I'm wrong on that it's controlled chaos. That's why we love it. It's the wide world of sports, the thrill of victory, the agony of defeat, the human drama of athletic competition, as the late Jim McKay would say back in the day. But Jimmy G, is he just embracing and loving that he's a part-time NFL player now, fully? Now, he got demoted with the Raiders last year because they were worried about stuff breaking on his body, which normally happens. But it seems like he couldn't be happier. Is that because he's close to Chatsworth, where they used to make all the porno movies? We know he likes nothing wrong with that. Many of us enjoy the fine arts there. But he's very energetic. He's bright-eyed, bushy-tailed Jimmy Garoppolo in the honeymoon phase of the relationship with the Rams. And we'll see what happens, because the real test, at some point Matthew Stafford's going to get hurt. The Rams have to try to make it through the first two games because Garoppolo's got popped. He got popped for PED, so he's out the first two games. But then after that, when Stafford gets hurt, Garoppolo can slide on in there, the good luck charm for the 49ers back in the day and the Patriots, and he can get the opportunity. When the crap hits the fan, that's when we're going to find out if he still loves the Rams culture, when people are pointing out the frailties, the inaccuracy, the mistakes of Jimmy Garoppolo. But right now, it's great. Love Sean McVay. There's a lot of players like this, though. They change teams. They're journeymen bouncing around the Hobo Express out in the boondocks of sports. And whatever team they're on is the greatest team. And then when they leave that team, it's terrible. Bunch of bums.